Is there any more to this tabletop system?
Behave yourself, R2. You're going to get us into trouble. It's all right. You can trust him. He's our new game master. He says that he's the listener of a Dark Times podcast, a show about this game.
Welcome back to the Dark Times, a SagaEdition podcast. I'm Sam, your favorite translator and interpreter.
Ooh, and I'm Steven, your favorite podunk moisture farmer.
You put the dunk in podunk, Steven.
Ooh, because of my basketball skills?
That's why they call him Luke Skywalker.
When I was a kid, I always thought it was a missed opportunity, and maybe they did do this at one point. I wouldn't be surprised, but I always thought it was a missed opportunity to not like have a Star Wars basketball shoes tie-in and call them like the Skywalkers. Literally,
as I said it, I imagined Luke doing the fucking Air Jordans. Aunt Beru, I need money for my new Skywalkers.
Watched Attack of the Clones the other night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's the Xena Sloth review?
Okay, so...
Is it still a solid 6?
Yeah, honestly. The first half of that movie is really good, actually. The dialogue is super clever. Like, Anakin is being just the moodiest bitch on the planet because he's really nervous about Padme. And Obi-Wan is, like, trying to be so normal about it. About everything, about this. Oh, yeah, protect the senator. Like, they get a side quest, and Obi-Wan's like, okay, yeah, another Jedi side quest. And Anakin's just bouncing off the fucking walls because he cannot contain.
But how does this affect my relationship with Padme?
Yeah, I mean, that opening elevator conversation is straight up that. And Obi-Wan's like, could you chill? We're just doing a side quest. And
you haven't seen this girl in 6 years, dude.
Yeah. And Anakin opens on the most awkward, like, Napoleon Dynamite shit. I can't remember exactly what he says, but you know the scene. He says,
more beautiful than.
Yeah, he says, like, you're more beautiful than even in my dreams. And then she, like, gives him the awkward stare, like, did you really just say that? And then he follows it up with, for a senator, I mean. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? No fucking riz to be had. Anyway, I can't really tell when that movie gets bad, but it does. It's definitely sometime before Geonosis.
Is it before not just the men, but the women and the children
it's
too?
It's about there. It's like when we're at the...
Because Anakin... All right. Oh, no, hear me out. Here. Anakin, like, going to the camp and killing the Tusken Raiders is a great scene.
You mean when he's like...
I think it's...
driving across the desert and it's like sunset on Tatooine and all that.
And then it cuts to him to like, he's like, well, you don't see it directly, but he's like been cutting him down and shit. Yeah. And he finds his mom. Yeah. Like, that's a great moment there.
I think it starts to fall apart at the lake house. I think that's, if I had to guess.
The lake house is pretty bad. Yeah. Where he's with the CG pair that he's CG pair,
the too tight dress on Padme and that one in like in the dungeon when they're in like the pent up sexual frustration dungeon.
Yeah. Which is normal in every Naboo residence.
Yeah, every Naboo house has one. I played Star Wars Galaxies, okay?
I don't know why. You just reminded me of a Sam Witwer interview where they're talking about like...
Don't say that to me.
I know, right? I can't remember what the context was, but it was something about, Padme meeting Shmi Skywalker in the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. And they do a really good scene, and Sam Witwer's just like in the room.
Oh yeah,
he's like,
that's right.
Yeah, and he's like, is it Dave Filoni? Yeah, it's Dave Filoni with a cowboy hat.
He fact checks Dave Filoni.
Yeah, he's like, that's a really good scene, Dave, but we're gonna have to do it again. And Dave's like, why? What do you mean? It was perfect. He's like, yeah, but they met in episode 1. You dumb shit. Like,
they did meet in
like
Phantom
she
Menace.
Literally, that's one of those things. Like, wow, he fact checked Dave Filoni. I was like, yeah, but also it was the most like if you watched episode 1, you would know.
I'm not sure Padme and Shmi like talked, let alone looked at each other.
They had dinner together.
Oh yeah. Yep. See, here I am. Scene. Here I am. They did share a meal together. Wow.
Look at that. They broke bread, Steven.
They did break bread.
Or whatever they break on Tatooine. Hearts, sand, usually. Yeah, hearts. Spirits.
All right, man. It's not the Attack of the Clones podcast. It's the Dark Times podcast. Yeah. Thank God.
Well, okay. Well, really quick, what's your favorite scene from Attack of the Clones?
Oh, okay. So, like when they shoot down that Lucrehulk pod and like dust goes everywhere. And it's the same droids shooting at clones scene that you'd be getting for the past, like the previous 8 minutes. But now it's like dusty and there's lots of bloom effects and it's like dark. I like that one.
Really? It's like a visual thing that you like the most about the Clone Wars.
And of course, the chase through Coruscant, absolutely, with Big Sam.
Up there, with Big Sam.
That's what I was watching the other night, and I was like, wait, I thought this movie was bad. Like,
why is there a cool-ass chase scene in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, well, you know.
That's like still part of the intro, basically, where it's Anakin and Obi-Wan doing their duty. And
and the fucking Obi-Wan goes to meet Dex, and that's a great scene. And then Obi-Wan goes to commit. Oh, the archives are incomplete. And Jocasta Nu's like, oh, you fucking dumb shit. And then Yoda's like, oh, lost his planet, has he? And then Obi-Wan's like, well, shit, no one's helpful. So I guess I'll just go to the system where there's supposed to be a planet and fucking flip a coin on that shit, basically. Because think about it, Obi-Wan's looking for one person to be like, yeah, trust me, it exists, bro. Don't waste the fucking 6-hour drive. Like, it exists. And he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta get in I gotta rent a hyperspace ring. Like, you know how the bureaucracy of it? You're laughing so hard.
I know, I'm losing it. No, it's true. I'm also just thinking, like, when he gets to Kamino, it's really funny because
they're expecting him.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hey, welcome, dude. You made it. Hey, you want some sparkling water? We got some fruit laid out. They're all like, oh yeah, so it's cool. We got the army's almost done cooking. By the way, you got the money and stuff? You ready for that? And Obi-Wan's like, oh yeah, the army. Yeah, that's right. We ordered the army. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Obi-Wan, we got these. Oh, the shrimp cocktail's been waiting for like 3 years, dude. Like, are you gonna eat this shit or no? So my favorite scene in Attack of the Clones has to be the reveal where they're like sitting in the hallway and then like the walls like pull away and it's the huge like here's where all the clones are made room.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love that. And then like they're already walking up into the ship and stuff and I was like, yes. Even though it's like it's one of those things where you can tell it's 100% CG.
Oh yeah.
Because of course it is.
Where would they find that many people?
Scene. Where are they going to find that many people to be in a Star Wars film, let alone for free?
Kamino's not real, Sam. They had to do CGI.
It had to be CG because the place doesn't exist.
Duh.
Oh, man. Yeah, where are they ever going to find a bunch of Star Wars fans to play as background troopers in a scene for a multi-million-dollar film?
I could never guess. I don't even
thankfully,
think that
they'll never do
Star
that.
Wars.
Yeah, thankfully they do. All right, real quick. Do the stormtroopers in The Mandalorian, did they get paid? Those 501st troopers?
I don't know.
Do you think it was? I'm sure they were paid. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
All the stormtroopers in the first season of Mandalorian, or at least for like the big Moff Gideon reveal, like at the end of the season or whatever.
Oh,
we're 501st.
That's so cool. It is really cool. For the listeners, we're talking about the cosplay like charity.
Yeah,
group,
not actual 501st Legion. That'd be whoa! What the hell? What comic was that revealed in?
Yeah, but that's sick. I didn't know that. That's really cool. Well, there goes our trivia for this show.
Of them. I know, right? It's Mandalorian trivia. It doesn't count.
Did you know they filmed the show in front of a big TV?
No, because a lot of the stormtroopers use their own armor that they had made.
Oh, that's
instead of
cost saving.
Getting prop armor. Yeah, I mean, because they already had it.
Yeah,
right?
might as well. It's
and
out
they
there.
already have trained at acting as stormtroopers.
It's screen accurate. They can stand in formation. Might as well just get the 501st guys to do it. To answer your original question, they probably did not get paid, and if they did, probably not a lot. If I had to keep a conservative guess, I've done a little movie extra work myself.
Oh my God, you're a star.
Yeah. Hollywood star on the boulevard and all that. And in Bumblebee. And I think I can say that. They
didn't make you sign anything.
I definitely signed a few things.
It's not relevant to Star Wars. No one's looking.
There was a little bit of money in it for me, but the free costuming, like the free, like just a funny lady will deck you out in 80s clothes for fun for the movie. Like that was cool. And the catering was really fucking awesome. And there's a little money in it for me too.
They gave you a backstory.
They did not.
You told me they did.
Oh, what did I say?
It was like they were like gang gang members?
Oh, they like assigned me an archetype.
Oh, an archetype.
Yeah, I was a flock of seagulls guy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, enough. This isn't the Zenith Sloth movie trivia podcast.
Yeah.
It's the Dark Times, a SagaEdition podcast. Steve, we have some feedback from last week.
Oh, great. I guess I'll go ahead. From our editing team over at Lil Literalist LLC. That's LLLC, by the way. I've heard a good bit of advice on tools. If there exists an ultra cheap version of a tool, then buy it. If it breaks, then that means you actually use it often enough to justify buying a more expensive version. That is the best advice I've ever heard about tools.
We're not even relevant to SagaEdition.
Not even close.
It tied into our conversation last week about Space Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Which I very much enjoyed.
Huh. I'm going to keep that in mind next time I'm at Home Depot. He continues. My favorite part of that setting, Dathomir, is that using the dark side has immediate physical manifestations, purple veins or blood blisters or something. It basically makes you more ugly, like a traditional witch. So if someone showed those signs, then they were exiled from their witch clans. The Night Sisters were exiled witches who decided that instead of reflecting on themselves during their exile and allowing the dark side manifestations to recede, they embraced it and joined together in a new, evil clan.
That's cool.
Yeah, right? I like that too. The dark side should make you fucking hideous. None of this like sexy, demure, gray Jedi bullshit.
Oh, you don't like the yellow eyes?
I like the yellow eyes, but you should also, there should be more. Your dick should straight up fall off.
What do you think they used to clone more Palpatines?
Fuck. He continues once more. Force Track is one of my favorite underutilized force powers. It basically gives you one of the most useful aspects of survival, but with none of the negative modifiers for things like hard surfaces, poor vision, rain, etc. Good point. I didn't consider that last week. It has a more limited time frame, since the target has to have passed within 24 hours, but it's great if you're in the right general area and just need to pinpoint someone, especially in urban environments where gather information might normally be more appropriate.
Interesting. I like that.
Oh, and he actually, I had a bad feeling about this, and then he stepped in to correct us, which I'm grateful for. Lil Literalist says, Charm Beast from the Dathomir Witch talent tree was released in the core rulebook before the Charm Beast talent for the Felucia Shaman talent tree. We got that backwards last week, Sam.
Yeah.
And also before the Charm Beast talent from the Beast Warden talent tree. I think that's Jadam, and I think Felucian Shaman is Force Unleashed Guide. Yes.
That's right, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, there are 3 Charm Beast talents. All of them do pretty much the same thing. I'll add that Flight seems like an amazing talent until you actually read it. You cannot use it for sustained flight. You fall at the beginning of every round. In fact, I feel like that talent needs a force technique to improve it. It absolutely does. Improved force flight is...
That's so easy. Why didn't they do it?
I don't know. They got like improved ballistic kinesis, I think.
Don't need it. If you're just fucking filling text, baby, just improved force flight.
I have to check.
It costs a free action to re-up your use of force flight or whatever. Like, that's it.
There is such a thing as improved ballistic kinesis.
Great, thanks.
But no improved force flight. Probably because it's a talent, not a power.
That's fair. It's not a force power.
But it could use another talent, just improved flight, and then bam, bingo.
That is strange that it's technically it's a force power as fucking far as I can throw it, but it's a talent.
Yeah,
you know.
Do you want to hear how bad improved ballistic kinesis is, or rather how good it is?
Sure. If it's the alternative to improved force flight, let's hear it.
When you use ballistic kinesis, Legacy era campaign guide, by the way.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. When you use ballistic kinesis,
they waited just long enough.
You may spend a force point to target a 3x3 square area instead of a 2x2.
A force point?
Yeah. Spend a force point.
That shit's expensive.
Granted, that is like, let's see, I'll do the math in my head. 4 plus 6 plus 3. Like 13 more squares of target area compared to a 2x2. But a force point? I don't know, man.
Wait, how are you getting that math, by the way? A 2x2 is 4 squares, right?
Oh, shit, you're right.
A 3x3 is 9 squares.
I was doing the math for a 3x3 to a 4x4, not a 2x2. Yeah. Thank you.
It's like 5 more squares.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, it's really bad. Even
It's so bad.
I
would rather save the force point to not die.
Yeah. I mean, granted, okay, our standards have changed because we've been kind of pilled with daily force points lately, right? We've been loving that. But, I've been loving that as a game master.
No, it's great. I love it.
Okay, good. It really sets...
Because then it's like...
Gets the vibe right,
Absolutely. It's very much like how badly do you need to not fuck up this skill check here?
Especially since I usually have you guys going through multiple encounters per day. So it's like, it works.
Yeah, we're not taking fucking power naps in the middle of the day.
No, sure aren't. But yeah, even if you're at the Jedi Knight, Jedi Master, Force Adept level, whatever you want to say, and have force points to spare, this still is garbage. Anyway, it's not the Improved Ballistokinesis podcast, thank God.
What are we talking about this week, Stephen?
So, Sam, I've got a bit of a brain worm. Hold on.
You got to leave those on Geonosis where they belong, Stephen.
Or rather, because it's the field guide to Dathomir, Sam, I've got a bit of an artery worm.
Oh.
That's one of the beasts in the native beast section.
Artery worm?
Artery worm.
That's disgusting.
They're a torture method favored by the Night Sisters of Dathomir.
They aren't a fucking pleasure method, that's for sure.
Involve force feeding or injecting the victim with liquid containing artery worms. When ingested, an artery...
He was forced to eat artery worms when he was 6.
Anyway, they burrow into your veins and turn them into, quote, molten fire.
Ow.
It would digest you alive, and you would only survive a day.
That's awful. Was there a cure?
Yes, actually. Glad that you ask. You have to drink a potion containing witch blood, which will purge your body of worms, provided they had not yet reached your heart.
I love that's some like high fantasy, like 80s dog pile.
So
that I love.
The Night Sisters are low key chock full of 80s fantasy witchy dog pile, as you put it, largely because a significant sect of Night Sister lore begins with the Ewoks movie.
Oh man!
Because one or both, I believe the first, if not both, of those movies have a evil witchy 80s fantasy antagonist that was retconned as a Night Sister.
That's incredible.
Yes.
You know those are both on Disney Plus, by the way.
I do know this.
They are not front page advertised.
No way.
You got to go digging for the Ewoks movies.
Yeah. I want to spoil something about the second Ewoks movie, but I won't. Okay.
Well, thank you for not doing so. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Gang.
Or maybe don't watch it yet. Put the X-Files theme in here, Sam. Thank you. We mentioned it last week, Sam. There's an adventure at the back of the Dathomir Field Guide.
It's a map to One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
Goonies? Remember that Goonies board game we played?
Yeah, it was fun.
The Goonies Dungeon Crawler. I liked it. It was fun, just a bit repetitive, and I think it was meant
Funko. That's why it was repetitive.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, I kind of wanted to go through the adventure lightly, a la the Nerf Herder's Daughter.
Yeah, Nerf Rancher. But
Fuck, I keep doing it.
I love it. I liked that time. That was fun.
Me too. That was a good episode, and it low-key got a lot of people to play the adventure, at least 2. And in SWSE numbers, that's a viral sensation.
Yeah. Woo, out of the 5 of us.
Yeah. But no, seriously. And hey, maybe people will be encouraged to pick this up and play it once we go through it. I certainly, well, let's just get to it. So
go ahead, Stephen.
I'll go ahead and just read the adventure outline here.
What's it called?
Oh, it's called The Dark World of Dathomir.
Ooh, yeah. I can see this on like a 80s movie poster.
Right, I can see the font right in front of me right now. It's described as a mini adventure designed for 4th level heroes that involves the Star Temples of the Qua, which you can get more information on what those are respectively in the
Whoa, Stephen. We already know. We don't need more info. Listen, it's such a large breadth of lore they've covered for the star. What did you say? The Star Fields of La Qua or whatever?
The Star Temples of the Qua.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the Star Flavors of LaCroix or some shit.
In this scenario, the heroes are enlisted by the Wandering Brook clan to retrieve their stolen, and this is a word that's in a lot of, that's like all throughout this book. You're just gonna have to bear with me. They're stolen male-ling slaves from the.
What was nubile too much?
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue. The stolen male-ling slaves from the marauding Blood Moon Night Sister clan, who are using the male-lings to excavate and gain entry to the Kwa Star Temple. And here's the adventure outline. That was just the intro. Here's the outline. After one of the members of the Wandering Brook clan discovers that the clan's male-lings have inexplicably disappeared from their proximity shield pen overnight, she raises a clarion call to her sister witches and their clan mother, Vikia, or perhaps Vishia.
I like Vishia. That's so cool.
Vishia is way better, yeah. Vishia tasks the PCs with finding the escaped male-lings. The heroes... I'm not going to get used to saying that fucking word, Sam. I'd rather just say slaves. Like,
Well, I'm sure when they were writing it, they were like, "What's the word count on slaves in this outline?"
Good point. The heroes depart from the encampment of the Wandering Brook clan into the jungle, where they find telltale tracks leading to a Kwa Star Temple. Surrounding the temple is an enormous excavation project by a large contingent of Night Sisters of the Blood Moon clan, who are using the stolen mailings to remove an enormous stone slab that has crushed and killed the Night Brother slaves that previously attempted the task, and that blocks the entrance to the temple antechamber.
I like
There's more, but what?
I've got notes.
Yeah. No, it's yeah.
What was it? Their proximity shield pen?
Yeah, the mailing slaves in the proximity shield pen. I have a few thoughts, and I'm going to finish the outline first, but I have a few thoughts to share as well. Once the Blood Moon Night Sisters manage to open the temple antechamber, they quickly go inside, herding the stolen mailings ahead of them. Inside, a Qua Curatrix is frozen in stasis on a dais, where she has remained for 100,000 years. Opening the temple begins the deactivation sequence of the stasis chamber, and this summons the giant Woofa Worm Guardian from its catacomb fathoms below the pyramid. The heroes must deal with the Night Sisters, the Qua Curatrix, for better or worse, and fend off the giant Woofa Worm Guardian. The Night Sisters want to kidnap the Qua and take her back to their encampment, along with the mailings they stole from the Wandering Brook clan, and torture her for the secrets of the Infinity Gates.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Talk about Pulp Fiction. Jesus, man.
Quite pulpy. I would say that simultaneously in good pulp tradition, there is both very little and a whole lot going on in this adventure all at once.
I love it. I love it.
If for whatever reason slavery doesn't have a place at your table, this is probably not the adventure for you because it's predicated on the party. I maybe wouldn't go far as to say complicit with slavery. They're like as complicit in slavery as Qui-Gon Jinn is in Phantom Menace. Because like, if the party answers the call, say a Night Sister puts up a listing on the local Craigslist. What?
Steven.
What?
Hey, Qui-Gon freed one slave, okay?
Yeah,
it's a low bar.
Yeah. And there's a billion reasons to run this adventure, and you could even, tweak the maybe less favorable elements out of it quite easily. But it does start, I want to be clear, with the clan mother putting out an ad for assistance for getting her mailing slaves back.
Maybe the Wandering Brook clan sounds like such a nice name for a clan, right? Maybe they're not slaves. Maybe they're like lovers or whatever. Like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
lovers you keep in a pen outside of the village?
They don't have to be in a pen. They can just be kidnapped. They can just be
And that does have precedent in the existing lore, absolutely. They could be their forced husbands.
Yeah. No, forced husbands, Steven.
But yeah, consider tweaking this to fit your table if you feel it's necessary. If your party's chill with tracking down some slaves, then, hey.
Use it as a narrative tool. Maybe they decide to free them.
Yeah.
And they send them on their way. You guys were kidnapped. That is suck. And we're saving you. But you don't have to go back. You can just go do whatever you want.
That's perfect.
Just because you're including conflict in your campaign does not mean you're endorsing it.
No, absolutely not.
Unless you start doing things that endorse it, in which case,
unless you start endorsing it, then you've endorsed it. So the book, really great. We're poking fun, and I do need to take some time. This is clearly a work of passion from a fan who was probably a lot like you and me, Sam. I mean, he's probably not dead, but
I didn't assume he was dead. Why didn't you assume such a thing?
I did not. But Rob Shanty here put a lot of effort into this, and I wanted to celebrate.
It's a product of its time.
Absolutely, it's an old form supplement from we couldn't even find the year on this, probably circa 2010, and we love it for that. And we understand that something I made today will not look the same in 10 years.
Yeah.
But 67 pages, the supplement, and you can just feel the love oozing out of it. It could have used overall, and I'll talk about this more towards the end, could have used another pass of copy editing, maybe some cleaner JPEGs here and there. Overall, fantastic supplement. For what it is, incredible. The book goes into pretty good detail as to how you can set this adventure up and who is who and what is what. Basically, Clan Mothers reaches out for help to the PCs, whoever they may be. There's actually even a lot of good information for implicating the PCs already on Dathomir, opening up a broader adventure with this mini adventure, which is honestly cool.
Oh, that's it. Is it brief enough to where we can talk about it, or is it
Oh, yeah, I'll read this line here. Vishya convenes a meeting of the PCs, whomever they may be, favored, capable malelings who have proven themselves in the past and were separately kept from the stolen slaves, fellow witches of the coven or of an allied clan, or hired off-world mercenaries.
Oh, interesting.
The pivotal and story-centered Qua Curatrix as well, they also have a little sidebar here that proposes that character be a player character, that the party is either saving or resurrecting or rescuing or something like that.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Right. So first off, what do you do when you're on Dathomir and something's gone missing? You track it. DC 15 survival check to track. And that sets you along the first encounter for this mini adventure. There is a custom skill challenge for overland travel. Yes. And it was clearly made with loving attention to the create a skill challenge rules.
Hell yeah.
It's a CL3 skill challenge, has complexity of 1. You must get 5 successes before the skill DCs degenerate to 34, and we'll describe what that means in just a sec. The suggested skills for this encounter are the likes of endurance, knowledge, life sciences, physical sciences, perception, survival. Interesting typo here in the book as well. It's definitely supposed to say 26. The knowledge and survival check DCs are 76, which you could not hope to get ever.
Get good, scrub.
Yeah. And this also has some of my favorite challenge effects. There's the degenerating challenge effect. Each failure increases the DC of all skill checks. So a 16 endurance check becomes a 21 if you say fail your life sciences check. And the survival check, which is almost certainly meant to be 26, goes to a 29. So what the 5 successes before no skill DCs below 34 means is that you must get 5 successes before one of these DCs decays or degenerates up to 34, which I think is a minimum of, looks like, 4 failures, assuming you're attempting the hardest ones first.
Heck yeah.
Pretty decent, pretty easy. There's also extreme success here. If you succeed a skill check by 10 or more, you get 2 successes instead of 1 here. Take a look. Take a look at this super failure condition here, Sam. If the heroes occur enough failures to shift all skill DCs to 34, they fail the challenge and become lost in the wilds of Dathomir, potentially prey for any native fauna. Each hero also loses 1 second wind and gains a persistent condition that can be removed only by 8 hours of rest. As long as the persistent condition remains, the heroes lose 1 second wind each day.
That's you got to be really unlucky to fail this, right?
Yes, you would have to be remarkably unlucky to get lost in the woods and become Rancor food and lose your second winds. This is a great example of the skill challenge creation rules. I think this was done with love and respect for them. It's a good fit for the setting. Also, if you wanted a simpler approach or just a different one. Consider the official overland travel skill challenge from Galaxy of Intrigue.
It's a hot favorite here on the Dark Times podcast.
Yes. We love Galaxy of Intrigue and the skill challenges therein. All
right, Stephen, we succeeded. I've rolled all my survival checks or whatever, life sciences, whatever the fuck you want to roll.
Yes, you've made it through the
muck. I've made it to the edge of the temple.
Okay, good. We're at the edge of the temple, and now there's the second encounter for the adventure called Sentinels at the Border. Through one way or another, the party becomes aware of a group of Sisters of Vorator up ahead. You ever hear of the Sisters of Vorator?
No, not familiar.
The Sisters of Vorator, reading from the Dathomir Field Guide, were tasked to guard the borders of Night Sister lands on Dathomir. They kept Vorator lizards as pets and helpers and are also deadly Rancor riders and spear fighters. They're able to blast their opponents with, you guessed it, Sam, Force Blast.
That's great.
This is a CL4 enemy, and there's 3 of them, according to the book. You can sneak around them. You could try, though you might struggle because these Vorators are quite good. Don't expect much from the Sister of the Vorator stat block. It is just a CL5 like Force Wizard with, it's your average Force Adept Beast Commander, basically. She's got all the Beast talents, and she's got spears, and she's got Force Blast and Dark Rage.
Heck yeah.
Oh, and Trample. Don't forget Trample. She's got Trample for trampling you. Now, the real star of this encounter is the Vorator lizards. These are CL7. A Vorator lizard was an aggressive, poisonous reptile found on Dantooine and Dathomir. The average Vorator was 2 meters long with a fan-like dorsal spike. When one decided to attack... Yeah, right? I love fan-like dorsal spikes.
Woo!
When one decided to attack, it charged its target with incredible speed. Vorator lizards were the mounts of the Night Sister sentries, known as the Sisters of the Vorator. It's a quick, tough creature with a nasty poison bite. This thing's got like 8 squares of movement and like a plus 14 initiative. It's far more dangerous and admittedly interesting than their riders. The poison ability is as such. If the bite attack deals damage to a living target, the target is also poisoned. If the poison succeeds on an attack roll, 1d20 plus 8 against the target's fort defense, moves down 1 step on the condition track, and it attacks each round until cured with a DC 15 treat injury check.
Wait, so how many lizards are in this encounter?
3.
And they're CL7?
Yes. So
wait,
if you're keeping up,
Steven,
Sam,
my math's not checking out here. You said this was a level 4 adventure?
This is a level 4 adventure, and we're looking at an encounter with 3 CL4 enemies and 3 CL7 enemies. So this has become, from this point forward, this is a problem with with this mini adventure. It's another thing when I was talking about earlier how the supplement probably could use another round of copy editing if it even got the first one. This is not a balanced adventure in at all. Like not even in the kind of eyeballed like SWSE sort of way. No, like he says, the author opens up with this being a adventure for level 4 heroes. There's 3 CL7, 3 CL4 enemies here. Not even in the core rulebook is that a balanced encounter. And the core rulebook tells you to, hey, just do your best.
Could the 4 be a typo?
Possible. I mean, if he meant to hit 9, then yeah.
Well, the numerals look very similar, Steven. I'm not going to lie.
So I've got something to help us here, Sam. I've got this little lens that I like to look through at times. It's a tool you're familiar with. It is Nietzsche's Encounter XP Budget Designer. And so again, like this is one guy on the internet's take on encounter building versus another guy's take. Like that. Like, keep that in mind. These are not compatible methods or supplements. These are 2 different perspectives on encounter building in SWSE. I want to make sure that's clear before people accuse me of being unfair, because I'm really trying not to be. But this is a metric that has worked really well for me. That is Nietzsche's Encounter XP budget. And so far has been rock solid reliable on predicting exactly how hard an encounter will be. So I ran the numbers on 3 CL4 enemies and 3 CL7 enemies. Sam, this is a fair encounter for a level 9 party of 4.
It's a lot more levels than 4.
It's a lot more levels than 4. This is a difficult challenge for a level 6 party of 4 players.
So it's not even close to feasible.
No.
This is a TPK for a level 4 party of players.
You would be correct. This very much is. So, listeners, I wanted to tell you at the top, but decided to hold it off till the middle back end of this. This is not a CL4 adventure by any means at all. Like that, you should just ignore that. I would put it 7 at the bare minimum. 7 to 9, 7 to 10.
Yeah.
Really. You'll see as we move on to the next encounter why I recommend it so much higher than the author insists.
All right, Stephen. Well, I've killed 3 Vorador lizards with my bare hands.
Good.
And I'm down. I'm definitely down 2 steps on the condition track. I've lost my second win at this point.
Yes.
What other shit have you have for me to go through?
So I love this final encounter, and I also do not love this final encounter.
So what happens story beat wise though?
So you either make your way past or defeat the Sisters of Vortor, and you continue along to the Star Temple. And just like in the adventure overview, you witness a large contingent of Night Sisters hanging out around this quad temple. They're kind of like sci-fi pyramids. And there's the stolen mailing slaves. They're being forced against their will to move this big stone slab off of the temple. Literally
lifting rocks.
Lifting rocks. The adventure encourages you to describe the broken corpses of the Knight brothers that were crushed beneath the slab that failed to lift it the first time. So keep note of that. It also gives you a quick quip as to what to do and what to roll if a PC becomes enslaved. It just says roll an endurance check, and if you fail, you're down 1 step on the condition track.
I'm just thinking, like, how'd they get there? I guess, you know what? I could see this as, depending on how you run it as a GM, that second encounter being like, oh, they took out one of the party members, and now they're taking him back to the camp. Like, that's a feasible party of level 4 characters, maybe. But honestly, Night Sisters, they could take you out if they wanted to.
It does actually say exactly that in the book for that second encounter, that the Night Sisters of Vortor will attempt to take the PCs alive, disarm them, and bring them as slaves to the excavation site, but will kill the heroes if necessary. So yeah, we're here at the Star Temple. This next segment of the adventure is called Raiders of the Star Temple.
That's great.
So basically, the party's expected to ditz right on up to the excavators and be like, hey,
you can build the Lego Star Temple.
Exactly. And the Night Sisters get in. Pretty much as soon as the party arrives, the slab is lifted off and the Night Sisters force the mailings in. And that's when all hell breaks loose. So, listener, have a seat. Look, you want a Manhattan? I make a pretty good Manhattan. You don't drink? That's fine. That's okay.
We lied to you.
Yeah.
We brought you here and we told you we were going to cover a passionate adventure one shot for you and your friends. That's not what we're here to do.
So, do you have your drink? You're sitting down. Okay, good. The author, Bob Shanty, does not describe the number of combatants in this final encounter. He provides a really cool map. You'll see it in the book. It's a really cool map. I love this map. He just says, let's see here. What are the words exactly? I want to get it exactly right. Those among the remaining Night Sisters who are combatants may be portrayed with the Night Sister Hunter stat block. Okay. We don't know how many, but there's Night Sister Hunters in this encounter. Great, that's one. That's a CL3 stat block. Hey, that sounds like a good mook for a level 4 adventure, don't you think, Sam?
God, no.
Okay. The next enemy that is in this encounter. It's the giant Woofa worm, and it's going to come up through a hole in the floor 5 rounds in. This is the main defense system of this ancient temple, is the giant Woofa worm.
Mm-hmm.
The giant Woofa worm, Sam, is a CL10 enemy.
Well, maybe it attacks the Night Sisters too.
It does.
Okay.
It does. It's very clear. It actually provides great detail as to the behavior of the Woofa worm. Also, the author optionally recommends representing indirectly, they're basically Zoom calling in via a crystal ball, a generic Night Sister clan mother, a CL-15 enemy.
What, like just there or
yes.
Or what?
They're casting spells from her crystal ball.
That's insane.
So let's run down the enemies one more time. An unspecified number of CL3 mooks, a giant wuffa worm, and a Night Sister mother. CL10, CL15 respectively.
So it's challenging.
The adventures in the official books are pretty bare bones, but this is a whole new level. Really cool map, though. So, dear listener, I'm sorry. I could not help myself. I had to step in here.
You couldn't keep your dirty fucking paws off this goddamn adventure, Steven. You had to muck it up with all your little Zenith sloth hands, get all over the little stat blocks and all over the fucking adventure, and you had to muck it up in your own little fucked up way, didn't you?
It's true. It's true. But I only used stat blocks from the supplement itself. So, giant wuffa worm, CL10. 2 Night Sister shamans, or Sha women in this case.
Fuck off. That's good.
And 3 Night Sister warriors. Wuffaworm CL10, the shaman are CL7, the warriors are CL6. This is a challenging encounter for a level 9 party. Challenging. Hard to epic for a level 6 party. It's like hard and a half. It's like halfway between hard and epic on the numerical scale. So, good luck. This is tough.
Can we talk about the wuffa worm? I'd love to.
Yeah, what's wuffing you?
What is the reflex defense, the health pool, the base attack damage? I want to know about
So
this
glad you asked. The wuffa worm is a huge beast, 10. It's got a reflex defense of 19.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Fortitude 17. Will of 11. 115 HP.
What the fuck?
A bite attack of 14, or plus 14, 2d6 plus 12 damage, or plus 18 to hit, 2d6 plus 17 damage with powerful charge. It's got a reach of 2 squares. Has crush, devour, pin, power attack, and powerful charge.
It has grapple?
It has it's a grappler.
Shit too?
And it has devour as well.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's got devour?
It has devour. Yeah. Interesting thing, there's also the giant wuffa worm Temple Guardian variant, which is a CL13 and adds 3 levels of soldier.
Why would we want Steven?
Yeah.
150 hit points?
115. 115.
Oh, 115.
Yeah.
That's still bad.
Yes.
19 reflex defense for a huge creature? That's insane.
Yeah. Yes.
Natural armor? Is that why? Or?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I'm not happy.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think this guy ran this encounter. I don't think it's based off of anything he did in actual play. I sure hope so. I tell you what, Sam, I hear the guy right now who always, anytime encounter building is the subject, like thoughtful, well-balanced encounter building is the topic at hand. There's always that one guy who's like, yeah, I don't really balance my encounters. I kind of just throw it in on the fly. I wing it.
Yeah. And if I down 2 people with 1 attack, then
that's just the sort of GM I am,
It's just the sort of. I told them when we were going in that this is not a narrative game.
Yeah, this is.
I'm a harsh war gamer, and I will throw the entire fucking planet at you.
Same guy wonders why he can't get anyone to come back for a second.
Why doesn't anyone stay at my... Hi, I've been running a game for 3 months, but I can't get any players to stay.
Every game I run just fizzles out. I don't balance my encounters, by the way.
And it's like I've also only ever played D&D First Edition and Saga Edition. And I've got 20 years experience in Risk.
But yeah, so I wanted to praise the map a little bit more. Big, cool blue temple with a sick Diaz in the center, and I can only assume like a wuffa worm motif in the center of the floor. There's a big black pit where the Wufferworm comes out of, right there in the center. There's also goo oozing from the dais that's snaking and flowing all around the map, and that's difficult terrain, it specifies.
Oh, that's the worm pit. Worm ooze, standard for the temple.
So, yeah, the Qua Curatrix, an ancient magician sort of thing, guardian of the infinity stones, infinity gates. They're melting out of stasis. Wufferworm in 5 rounds. The Night Sisters are trying to get the Qua because they want the secret to the Infinity Gate, but they're stopped by the worm. Party's mixed up in all this. If you save the Qua, it says you've gained a powerful ally. If you're captured alive by the Night Sisters, you will be enslaved. Their escape from captivity may be a separate adventure of its own. And that's it. That's the end of the book. That's the end of the whole supplement. Then there's an index at the end.
Is there a section where it's like what to do if you get swallowed whole by this giant worm thing that's going to fuck your level 4 party up?
The Devour Beast trait doesn't even tell you what happens if that happens. Like, come on.
It's implied. It gives you a fucking Dragon's Lair, like, animated death screen.
You'll recall this, Sam, because it happened to us twice at the table. The Devour thing usually cannot kill players because you're unconscious in the belly, and the Devour ability trait only deals damage that usually isn't enough to kill a high-level player. So you kind of just fester in there.
But stomach acid deals damage, Stephen, and I'm not going to pretend it doesn't.
Not enough to kill. Not enough to kill. But,
oh, man.
Yes, my advice...
Wait.
What?
Objection. You're probably suffocating.
Oh, that's a good point. Forgot about that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It doesn't say it on the fucking sheet, so I wouldn't blame you for forgetting it, but you're probably suffocating inside someone's tummy.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah. So yeah, that's the dark world of Dathomir. This last encounter needs help. You can take my suggestions. You can not. You can do something entirely different. There's definitely a lot of room to do your own thing in this encounter. Yeah.
Regardless, I think the field guide's awesome.
Oh, it's so cool.
All the stuff we covered last week we didn't even cover everything. There's still so much more shit. There's so much more equipment that's in there. That's really cool.
Yes. The Night Sister bloodline skull.
There's like 3 other species that we didn't cover also, right?
There's playable species in here
that aren't just straight up fucking Dathomir Night Sisters. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's Qua. There's the reptoids.
There's near humans, there's far humans.
And everything in between.
Everything in between. Steven! Yub nub. Yeah. Chulaba rub nub. This is the break, the dark times. It's the break of the dark times. This is the break. This is the part of the show where we thank you, dear listener, and thank you, Stephen.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. You put so much work into this show, and God, they tear you up in the private channels on the Discord server that you're not in.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. Oh God, man.
I was at Hates Your Podcast Island, and everyone was there.
Yeah, I'm the admin of the Sam Hate Discord server, and we just have a great time. It's more active than any SWSE server or subreddit. And we just love ripping into you in there. It's a good time. Shout out to the I Hate Sam Discord server.
How can people support the show?
Speaking of supporting the show, this show would not happen without yours support, that is. And
what is you AI generated? Like,
please keep that in. There's a billion ways to support the show, and if you're listening right now, you're already doing the easiest one. We are so grateful to have your guys' attention and time in this wide world. When there's like, my dad always tells me, because the good old days or whatever. But he always tells us like we're so lucky these days because we have so much just shit that we can listen to or read or do. There's just never a shortage of on-demand entertainment, which is like our parents' generation's dream come true.
Yeah, back then they only had 3 channels.
Yeah, exactly. And snow both ways and all that. But, you guys choose to make us part of your week, your day, whatever that is, whether it's part of your commute or if you're just chilling. we're happy.
Part of your session prep.
Yeah. We're just happy to be here with you, loving SWSE, because hey,
it's a labor of love.
Someone has to, right?
Yeah, someone has to still like this system. It's a labor of love, but that love comes at a price, and that price is our hard work and determination.
Yeah. And speaking of price, if you wanted to send us, money, we're a bit of a PBS situation here. We're supported by viewers like you. There's hosting costs. There's feeding Sam. I keep them locked up in my basement with nothing but a Windows XP computer and a CS2
can I see
copy
the sun today,
Steven? Sorry about that, folks. Sometimes they forget their place.
It's enough. Podcast. Steven, you said something about money and them supporting us with it?
Yes. If you want to support the podcast monetarily and keep us on air, you can make a modest $5 contribution each month or $10 contribution each month. Doing this for 3 months will get you a sticker or shirt and sticker, respectively. You can also access exclusive content on our Patreon, which includes maps, quick start SWSE supplements, just a page that like a noob guide to SWSE. Basically, you want to get your friends into the game quick, hand them this. It's a 2-page document. Well, actually, it depends on the character.
No, they're about 2 pages or so. I'd say 2 physical pages, but front and back, some of them. So
yeah.
You know what? They're a hell of a lot easier to read than the fucking 5th edition ones. That's for sure.
Damn right.
I will fucking die on that cross.
And there's maybe some exclusive content upcoming to our Patreon soon. You never know. We did announce our hiatus, the darkest summer. We'll be off the air July through August, but we'll be popping on the Patreon just a little bit, just to keep you guys, sated. You're giving us money after all. We might as well give you something. Yeah, if you'd rather support the show in other ways, you can tell a friend, tell your party, tell your game master. Shoot us a message on Discord, an email, darktimeswsy.gmail.com. Nope, darktimeswsy@gmail.com. We'd love to hear episode feedback. We accept submissions for the show. And patrons also get to vote on our periodical build showcases, where Sam and I showcase builds that we received that fit a specific theme, and the patrons get to choose their favorite.
And no matter what, the plethora of stat blocks provided by me, Steven, and the rest of the Dark Times and SagaEdition community in general are always free to access through our Google Drive. They're linked all over the place. In any episode we talk about a stat block, it's linked there.
Yes, and you can. That's the secret of the build showcase. We don't even really like competition that much. We just want to generate a lot of high quality SWSE stat blocks in 2023, which thanks to you guys we have.
The real winner is you, listener. You get to take any of these stat blocks for your game and use them.
Always has been.
Just change the name.
No, keep Green Doug.
We haven't made a stat block for Green Doug.
Oh, that's right. Huh? I was thinking of Thin Mungo.
Patreon exclusive. Thin Mungo is a classic.
We got to redo, forget these, what are these lame ass starter builds we made? Can we just throw them all out and do the Condalorian, Thin Mungo?
Someone made
Green
the Condalorian,
Doug.
Remember?
Oh yeah, we do have the Condalorian stat of that. Okay. Okay, I have an idea, actually.
We need to dip back into the Dark Times canon characters that we've created. There's some that I feel like we should go back to. That's great. Green Doug, man. Oh,
fucking
Doug. Do you remember in that Black Sun campaign I was running for you guys, there was a purple Rhodian named Juice?
Oh yeah, Juice.
Didn't speak a lick of basic and just handed you his business card and you're like, okay, thanks, Juice.
Yeah, wasn't he just you just kind of hang around
He was a pod racer mechanic, but also he ended up getting a job on the Black Sun ship.
That's right. He helped us out at the pod racing encounter, and then we saw him later on the Black Sun slave.
It's called the Empty Sun, the casino ship, or something like that. Something cool like that.
That was really cool. Yeah, I missed that adventure, man.
Me too, man. But we're running a Star Wars game right now. I don't want to. We can't double dip the Star Wars. I'd love to bring it back after Zero Distance. Actually, I'd love to do Pathfinder 2nd Edition again.
Once CD's over with, I will be taking probably a short break and then right into P2E. And then after that, whatever that is, that'll be the Wyvern Squadron epilogue, I think.
really quick, listener, before we send you back out into the podcast sphere that we call life, you can review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your shows. You know what would make my day? Another Apple Podcast review, because we've got 3 on there and they're great, but I'm a greedy little bastard and I want more.
You can do 5 stars on Spotify too. Like 40 of you guys already have. So thank you.
Yeah, but no
so
one's
much.
told us they've done it, so we can't shout you out.
If you do it, tell us, shout you out.
Yes, please, please. But for now, we send you back out with a plum.
A plum?
A plum.
I don't like plums.
AP. No, not a plum.
I know.
Plum.
I was telling a joke.
With self-confidence or assurance, especially when in a demanding situation.
I know.
Steven!
Page 7 of the Dathomir Field Guide. First mention of horse.
No, not the horses. Are they're not horses in episode 9, are they? They're like weird other things. What? Did you want them to just be horses? Because I think that would be worse, personally. I don't know.
The horse is a CL1 large beast 3. It shares a page with the adult gaping spider and the gibbet bird.
The adult gaping spider shouldn't be sharing a page with anybody, personally. You just do that in the privacy of your own home. Steven, I brought us something. Well, no, I didn't. Our listeners brought us something this week.
Oh, I love when this happens.
Yeah. Zloy Krolik has brought us a beast captured between the pages of this field guide called the Footnewt.
Oh.
It took me a couple read-throughs to be like, oh, it's a pun.
Yeah.
The Footnewt. The Footnewt is an aquatic beast that is usually found on the bottom of streams and marshes on numerous worlds. Their bite, while not painful, is venomous and can result in incapacitation of the target. They usually wait in shallow water for their prey, but will attack intruders if startled. Their mottled skin and tiny size makes them hard to detect. While slow on land, they are good swimmers and can hold their breath for up to 3 hours.
Wow. I love salamanders and newts.
The Footnewt is a tiny beast 3. Got initiative of +4, perception of +6, languages, none. Obviously, it's a newt, Steven. They don't speak.
I love that Zloy wrote none, obviously.
No, I wrote that.
Oh, okay. Good.
They got 19 hit points, speed of 3 squares, a swim speed of 6 squares. They have a melee attack, a bite with -1 to hit, 1d3 -3 damage.
Whoa, look out, guys. Wait, you can't deal any damage.
Yes, Steven, that's the point. That's the point. Special qualities, amphibious, low light vision, and poison. Poison.
Whoa.
Belle Biv DeVoe, now you know.
It was Bruno Mars.
No, it was Belle Biv DeVoe.
Sorry, I got tricked by the sample. You're right.
I know. They have the feat dodge and skill training perception, and they have stealth +19 from their size.
Yo, dodge. Imagine you're just walking in the marsh and you almost step on one of these guys and he fucking like frame perfect dodges out of the way. Yeah. Fucking wave dashes.
Nope. Just trying to grab it with your bare hands. Poison. The Footnewt delivers poison through a bite. If the Footnewt deals damage to a living target, the target is also poisoned. If the poison succeeds on an attack roll, 1d20 +10 against the target's fortitude defense, the target moves -1 step along the condition track. A target moved to the bottom of the condition track by the poison is immobilized but not unconscious. Horrifying.
It's got a stronger poison attack roll than the big lizard from earlier in the episode.
Well, they say the smaller ones are more dangerous.
Oh, that is how that tends to work.
With like spiders, right?
Yeah, because of, well, I'm not going to launch into a evolutionary biology lecture right now.
You're the one who wasted your time with a biology degree. Don't make me pay for it.
Are you implying something about the fact that I've done nothing professionally with my degree?
Maybe a professional pain in my ass. That didn't require a degree, though.
I'll have you know, they pay me a lot of money to wash dishes all day.
The poison attacks each round until cured with a successful DC 15 treat injury check. DC 15 knowledge life science check to recognize the Footnewt is venomous and a DC 20 to recognize the Footnewt's habitat.
Oh.
Water, wet places.
Yeah, I feel like that shouldn't be that hard.
Marshy. Well, Steven, I've met some stupid people in my time. A DC 15, treat injury to treat poison. Trained only, it requires a medical kit.
Because I knew we were doing the Footnewt all day today. And the whole day at work in my head, I'm just going, Footnewt. Tiny Beast 3.
Look, Newt. Footnewt.
Kick off your foot.
Don't let it get in your shoe.
There it is.
I'm going to chalk this up to Zloy Krolik's typoing. 1d3 minus 3, Steven, means this thing cannot deal damage, which means it cannot poison anyone because it can't deal damage.
I feel like physical attacks can deal 1 damage minimum, but I also feel like I'm making that up.
That's unarmed attacks. I don't think that's physical attacks.
This is an unarmed attack. It's a bite attack.
Is it though? I mean, I guess it's unarmed technically.
Yeah,
but it's not like a fist attack.
Oh, no. But I don't know. Maybe it definitely should at least be able to deal 1 damage on a hit.
I'd say 1d3 minus 2 just to make it like it attacks. I love it because it'll try and hit you and it won't deal any damage. It'll be like, oh, it's fucking harmless. And then it hits you once and you just fucking get knocked out by poison.
Really funny. That's how that shit works. Trust me, I know a few
notes.
Someone cook up. Can we get the elite, like the CL9 elite Footnewt swarm, please?
Leg newt.
The leg newt.
I was going to say, your father was a good newt and a good friend.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Zloy, for sending that in. If you have a stat block or hazard or anything you want to send into the Dark Times of Saga Edition podcast, you can email it to us, darktimesswse@gmail.com. Steven. Steven, I have something for you.
Oh, no, I'm fucking scared, man.
It's time for everyone's favorite game on the show. Name that NPC or I literally kill you. This is a show within the podcast where Steven has 3 guesses to guess the stat block I'm describing. With each guess is paired a yes or no question. If Steven fails all 3 guesses, he is killed on sight by my army of Footnewts, and I will be looking for a new host in the coming months. This one comes from me directly, Steven.
Oh, boy.
And we're going back into the realm of starships.
Okay.
Let's name that starship or I literally kill you.
Is this a named starship?
Nope.
Oh, man.
Huge starfighter, CL7. Defenses, reflex defense 15, fortitude 22, plus 3 armor, vehicular combat, 60 hit points, DR of 10, damage threshold of 32, has a fly speed of 16 squares at character scale, 5 squares at starship scale, maximum velocity of 1,200 kilometers an hour, laser cannons plus 6. It's got a 3x3 fighting space at character scale and 1 square at starship scale, and also provides total cover. The attack options, we're looking at laser cannons. For the pilot, it's plus 6, plus 1 for auto fire, damage 40, 10 times 2. Crew, 1, skilled crew quality. Passengers, none. Buzz it at any time, Steven. Availability, go ahead.
No, I want to hear the availability.
Availability, military.
It's a TIE fighter.
It's a TIE fighter, Steven. You got it. Do not adjust your dials, listener. That was not a fetch. These are actual TIE fighters in the studio right now. That's a TIE fighter, Steven. I figured you'd get this one. I figured it was a nice, good one.
I've stared at the stat block so many times.
Yeah. I figured it was just ambiguous enough, but also something super specific that I was like, no way he fucks this one up.
It was really ambiguous because I was like, CL7 huge starfighter. There's like at least.
That's like all of them.
Yeah, there's like 6 of those at least. But then one crewmate, 1 laser cannon. I was like, I know this stat block. I've looked at this stat block far too many times.
Yeah, you should have this one memorized by now.
I do actually have the attacks and defenses memorized because it made running a starfighter campaign easier.
That's great. That's great, buddy. That's awesome. Steven, do you have any trivia for us this week?
Yes. Did you know the behind the scenes working title of Attack of the Clones was Jar Jar's Big Adventure?
No, it wasn't. No, don't say that. Was it really?
I have no source but it's on IMDb.
Misa Speeder! Fucking Jar Jar's Big Adventure, like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. That's crazy.
Here's some. That was, working title. I think is generous here. I think that's what a few people behind the scenes called it as a joke. I don't know if that qualifies as a working title, IMDb, but yeah.
One dude said it off, like a fan suggested the name, and then one dude shrugged it offhand, and then they took that as fucking gospel.
Yeah,
it was like the lighting. It was like Best Boy on the fucking set. He's like, I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever, kid. Is it? Hi, Mr. Best Boy, Mr. ILM Best Boy. Is it true that the second Star Wars movie is called Jar Jar's Big Adventure? Kid, get out of here. I'm trying to roll a joint, funny. Damn it.
I got some trivia about me and Attack of the Clones.
Yeah,
so
let's hear it.
I always thought, like, the popular thing is that Jar Jar gives the deciding vote to give Palpatine emergency powers to raise an army, right?
Yeah.
That's not it.
No.
He drafts the amendment and makes the proposal to give Palpatine emergency powers. It's far worse than the deciding vote. And it's so fucking funny. I love Ian McDiarmid so much because in the scene prior to Jar Jar giving Palpatine emergency powers, Palpatine like looks really like, but what senator would propose such a radical amendment?
They'd have to be so brave and strong.
If only Padme were here, I bet she would do it, wouldn't she?
What a douche.
I know. And then it pans to Jar Jar like putting two and two together. Like, wait, I'm brave. I'm Padme's proxy while she's away at her lake retreat. Like,
she would love it if I did this.
Yeah, this would be perfect.
Fast forward to This Is How Liberty Dies.
Yep.
That's so fucking. Jar Jar drafted the amendment. Did
Jar Jar drafted the
just
amendment.
have someone help him, or
he must have had C-3PO help him or something. Actually, no, 3PO was still on Tatooine. He must have had I don't know, Chat GPT help him out or something.
Chat 2 G2.
Yeah, Chat 2 G2 P2 D2
P2 D2 T2. Oh, that's great. Wow, Jar Jar drafted. You know what? How many Gungans can you say drafted an amendment?
I don't want to say.
I got you there. I won, Steven. This was a debate, and I won just now.
Oh, I see.
As every conversation between Star Wars nerds is.
All right.
Oh man.
Let's wrap this
shit up.
The
Dark Times. Fuck off! I'm doing it. The Dark Times is produced and edited by me, Sam Stevens, my co-host. You can reach out to us on Twitter at DarkTimesSWSE or email us darktimesswse@gmail.com. Review us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your shows. Tell someone you told us about the show, or tell a friend about the show. Tell your table about the show, and tell us you told them. We'll shut you all out in the show. Steven, do you have a quote for us this week?
You call this a diplomatic solution? No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
Classic. Classic. This is that's Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, right? Oh, no, or is that
Anakin and Padme?
That's a reference though, right? Like they're like it's a callback.
It callbacks to a previous conversation between them in the same movie.
Oh, okay, it's still them.
We open up mid-conversation on CGI pair scene. Anakin says, when I got to them, that's when we got into aggressive negotiations. Padme says, aggressive negotiations? What's that? Anakin says, well, it's negotiations with a lightsaber.
Good night, everybody!
Good night! All right.
This is the Dark Time Podcast, the podcast.